Hi everyone, welcome back to the forecast. This is Alexia Landa, and today we're going to be talking about December. We're in December, you guys. Can you believe that? We are, well, not yet, but we're literally walking into December by Friday. This is it. This is it. We're in December. We're going to be celebrating New Year soon. We're going to be walking into 2024 soon. And we're going to be talking about time and how special time is, how we are beings who make time important. It's not that time just is important, is that we make it important. We give it all the power, we give it everything. We give it our energy. And our energy is the one that co-creates everything. It's the one that really connects us to whatever it is that we want to connect to. And sometimes we feel like we don't have a choice when we do. But then that choice comes in with a lot of letting go, a lot of releasing, a lot of unknown. I always get asked, but Alexia, I don't know what's on the other side. Well, no, because you're going to create it. You're going to connect to it. You're going to have faith in you. Trust yourself. So 2024 is all about that trust, that inner stability, that inner connection to that inner dialogue you've been working on for the past 4 months. That's all I've been really talking about: how to speak to yourself in a kind way, how to believe in yourself, how to reconnect to your power, to your willpower without needing anyone to reassure you, but rather take every action as a powerful move from your wisdom, because you all have wisdom. Everyone has wisdom. And once you call it in, it really awakens this other side of you. There's times where I do things and I don't even notice. It's just natural. And the other day, a friend told me, she was like, you know what? I stopped asking for answers. I just said, hey, I'm just going to embody my wisdom. And I always talk about embodying the healing, and she made a really good point. That's what it is. Because when we heal, I always take back to themselves. I always take people back to themselves. That's the only way you can truly heal. The moment you truly authentically connect to who you are and what you came here to do, you connect to your purpose, and you let go of all this extra baggage, all this fluff of importance or whatever you think importance is, and you start connecting to your authenticity, truly living day by day. So the healing is the part of releasing, of understanding yourself, of connecting to your inner dialogue in a different way, forgiving, a lot of forgiving, from yourself to everyone else, to taking in responsibility and ownership, and understanding you're just not a victim. And once you step into that, you start embodying the healing. And embodying the healing is exactly what my friend said. I just called in my wisdom. And sometimes as the person I am, it's just so natural that I say, yeah, we embodied the healing, but what is that? Well, it's taking back your language, that inner dialogue that is so natural, that believes in you, that has faith, that has a connection to this higher source, higher power, this connection to God, that fraction of light that we are. That is where the wisdom comes from. And that wisdom has been used in past lives, it has been used in this lifetime, that natural state of being that sometimes you say, oh, well, it was intuition. Well, let's define intuition. Intuition is a feeling. Intuition is truly being in that moment of not necessarily knowing, but following the feeling, the sensation, using that body, that physical body, as a tool to be able to have an answer, to be able to activate that wisdom. And December is about that. It's about that faith, about that trust, about that disconnection from all these rules of how things should or shouldn't be. When in reality, we're in constant evolution. So, really, all we should care about is the foundation, the responsibility, the respect, the lack of judgment. Because when there is judgment, then there is a limitation. There is a point where someone's going to say, no, that's actually very wrong. Well, is it wrong or is it purpose? Does it have purpose? Because when it has purpose, even if it causes pain, we need to understand its purpose. Where is the seed? What is the root? Where did it start? And that's when I always say we are our ancestors. We kind of started everything. Just saying. We all kind of just started everything, and it's just been a constant repetition. So, December is about taking ownership. It's about having faith once you take ownership of whatever it is that you're repeating in your lineage, whatever it is that still irritates you from your lineage or from family or from those people around you. Taking that ownership and saying and deciding, okay, how am I participating in this? How am I being part of this? How am I using my emotional energy, that energetic motion, to be part of all of this so that I can truly detach and see it from a perspective of no judgment, of no victimization, of no control. Control always wants to say, well, things would be better if they were like this. Instead of letting everyone have their free will and not be affected by others and not be affected by whatever their wound is. And their wound doesn't mean that they're less than anyone. Doesn't mean that, oh, they should know better by now because, well, it's easy to learn. No, we're not judges. We didn't come here to be judges. We didn't come here to know better or know more than others. Truly, we just came here to be those fractions of light and spread that love, unconditional love. Of course, unconditional love carries a lot of boundaries because you have to have that unconditional love towards yourself. But it's about not conditioning to, well, you only love me if you do this. You only love me if you actually do it the way I want you to do it. Or you only love me if you stop being yourself, pretty much. If you stop responding with your wound. No, well, you haven't healed. I love you unconditionally. I just can't be present when you're using that type of love language that is wounded and that is controlling. And since I'm not mirroring you anymore, then I just step away. I don't need it. I don't need to mirror that any longer. I don't need to carry this any longer. I don't need to understand it any longer. My only reassurance is that that is you and there's purpose in it. And it's like walking into a classroom with everyone you meet. You meet someone, you walk into a classroom with them. And if you learn and they don't, that's fine. You can walk out of the classroom and still be connected, but that connection is not the same. That connection needs to have an evolution. It has to change. That person needs to meet the new version of you. So this December, decide what that new version is. Who are you? How are you going to have those boundaries? How are you going to communicate? How are you going to define exactly who you are now? Because if you keep waiting for others to change, to be able to show them that new version of you, that ascended, that I know they use that word a lot, ascended, more like this new version that had a rebirth, that you authentically connected to yourself, that you know what your inner dialogue is. Let them meet that person without feeling defensive. So this month is all about letting go of that defensive tool of, if you haven't changed, I won't either. Because that's why we are the way we are out there in the world, because everyone's defensive. Everyone's waiting for the other person to say, I'm sorry, but no one wants to say sorry. And the first step is to say sorry to yourself and say, I'm sorry I haven't let you be you because I'm scared. It's so vulnerable to just be ourselves and expose ourselves that someone might criticize or judge or think differently. It is difficult. I'm not saying it's not, but that's when you activate that willpower to keep going in life. You keep meeting new people, and these new people are going to bring in this authentic side of you and just shine because you're going to meet new mirrors. So, December is this huge opportunity to not use the tool of defensiveness and instead exchange it for the tool of orientation. That's the tool they're saying right now. I was going to say something else, but they just corrected me. My HVBs, they were like, nope, orientation. And I understand why they're showing it. It's like this map of, they're using, how can I explain it? They're just using this like clock. I thought it was the compass, but no, it's like a clock. And I'm talking about time today, so it makes sense. It's a clock where besides the time, it has a south, north, west, east. Um, yeah, it has it around the time. And it depends on what timeline, as in like how you're using your time, that's the orientation. So you are your own director. You are the one guiding your path by the decisions you make. And obviously, we all know this, but it's more about not just speaking up and communicating, but also your thoughts, also your definitions, also how you're perceiving people. We need to understand that our thoughts are actually the energy we give. We may say, "Oh my God, you're gorgeous," and your thoughts say, "You're not pretty at all." Really, what you're saying is, "You're not pretty at all." So, if that's something that comes in, then you have to heal that. You have to give it an orientation that is detached from you, that there is no judgment, because your style of beauty, your taste is different, and that's totally okay. If you are thinking, well, I love this, I don't know, family member, but I don't like them, but then you're in front of them and you say, I like everything about you, that's very contradicting. So you're not really defining your truth. And when you don't define your truth, there is no orientation. The clock stops. Without orientation, the time stops. So, yes, days go by. Yes, years go by. But then there's a moment in your life where you say, wait, where did time go? What happened? I just remembered 3 years ago what I was doing. Well, it was so repetitive and there was no defining and no orientation of letting go, of processing, of understanding that it's not about judging yourself, but rather about understanding why you have certain belief systems and letting them go. That's where time truly goes. That's how you're able to use time with that evolution. And the energy of defensiveness, it's coming out a lot for December, by the way. It's almost like wanting to prove something, wanting to have that reassurance from people of you are doing great, without already trusting your inner self, without already trusting what you've created. So that kind of cancels out the co-creation, because then your inner self, your spirit is like, oh, then we don't believe it. And without belief, there is no faith. And without faith, there is no creation. So faith is not about necessarily anything that has to do with religion or a practice. Truly, it's about an action that has self trust. And self trust is not necessarily built with lack of mistakes. Self trust is built with every action you take with a belief, then it will actually add up to a result. People wait for, well, I'll trust myself once I externally um, achieve something or someone proves it to me, or this is not about proving. That's a very defensive way of living. That's a very defensive way of receiving. So what happens? You become very stagnant and you stop receiving. So truly it's about, wait, I have faith in my spirit because I am a spirit, I am a fraction of light. So since I have faith, I have this connection. I feel now. I know how to feel. I know how to feel my feelings. I let myself be vulnerable. Then there is that belief system that since I am powerful in a way of vulnerability, in a way that I know everyone else is powerful as well, then everything starts being co created. Time goes by faster. And not in a way of, oh my God, I'm getting older, but in a way of, I'm living so much. I'm getting everything I need, which takes me to what I want instantly. Now, when I talk about needing and then wanting, it means that if you need something and you're not meeting your needs, then your want is always going to be far away because you're not nurturing yourself. So let's say that you need food, but you're trying to co create money. Well, if you're not nurturing yourself with that food, you don't have enough energy to be able to get what you want, which is co-creating that money. Because a lot of people ask me, well, I don't really need that much money, but I do want it because I want to have fun. Okay, amazing, but let's meet the needs first. It is okay to want everything. Everyone can have everything. But it's about meeting the need first, to be able to understand how to get there, to be able to have the energy to get there, to be able to understand what to release, what to work on, how to embody your own healing, how to embody your own wisdom, so that you can truly co create, so that you can truly connect. Remember, we're beings that connect to energy. And this energy is almost like that orientation, giving yourself that orientation of where am I going next? Why am I going there next? And you give it a definition and you say, well, because it feels right, because I see myself, because I feel in love, because I just feel there. Okay, then life starts taking you that way. Through every action you take, you keep defining that path. But if you are on defensive mode, you're just telling time that it's not enough, that whatever it gives it to you, you are second guessing, you're not trusting. And personally, I think this has been one of the key moments in my life when I understood that although I trust my work, I didn't trust myself fully. I trusted me sitting down and channeling and speaking all the truth because I have a team. I have higher vibrational beings that guide me, and I'm really good at just seeing them and listening to them. But there was something deeper. I had to connect to my self trust, to understand that I had to make this even more unique than I thought it was. To understand that at the end of the day, I don't have to define myself as anything, just as who I am. So what happened as the years kept going, I started just being myself in my readings. I started being okay with being funny. At the beginning, I didn't even want to be funny because if I were too funny when people were crying, it was like, am I not being considerate? But now I understand that since I trust myself, I let myself be authentic, I make everything very lighthearted because everything is easy at the end of the day. And when I say easy, I mean once you take responsibility, everything starts unfolding. So making someone laugh is actually one of my love languages. And I wasn't trusting that love language. I wasn't trusting that vulnerable side of me of, hey, we get to laugh and cry at the same time and it's okay. So once I started really trusting myself, everything started unfolding. I started having orientation towards what truly was my love language, my inner dialogue, how I wanted things to look and seem. And it's something you keep working on. It's something you keep connecting to. It's something that keeps growing because you keep understanding that being a fraction of light of God is just this source of wisdom that never ends. You keep going through evolution, and I want everyone to understand that evolution, and take into consideration, evolution is not work. Evolution is experience. So as you go through evolution, you keep experiencing even more, getting to know yourself even more without control, and that activates your willpower that says, "Oh my god, I can do anything. Oh my god, I can really accomplish anything I want and need." Because I trust myself, I believe in myself. Only I understand that authenticity in me. And we can even admire other people's authenticity without it wanting to be ours. Without saying, oh, I wish I was just like that. No, because you're going to make it look way different. And we need that. We need to see all the examples possible. We need to see every single one of you just be that. So it's about really reconnecting to this way of flowing in life. And time has a lot to do with it because time is almost like a gift. If you stop being defensive with time, if you stop saying, oh my God, I'm running out of time, and you're just in a hurry, you're actually going to pay attention to what's around you. You're actually going to feel. You're actually going to slow down and live life and experience, which is what we're here to do. So if you're always chasing something, this December is time to stop chasing. This December is time to truly connect to your orientation with that inner dialogue by feeling and understanding that your authenticity, that self trust of being you in every single moment of your day, will disconnect you from anything that is keeping you blocked or stagnant or in that self doubt. Because everyone wants to be proven something, but it's not about being proven something, it's not about being convinced. I always say this, I'm not here to convince anyone. I'm here to share. Even when I do a reading, I tell people, I'm not here to convince you. I'm here to give you clarity because I see what's happening. I hear it, I feel it. But convincing is questioning, and questioning will always take you to nothing being enough. So once you stop chasing, once you stop questioning, you'll stop chasing a self that you think is truly unapproachable, unreachable of yourself. And you'll stop questioning yourself and you'll start actioning with that self love, with that self trust, with that wisdom. So don't chase yourself, be yourself. Don't wait for that day. Just be in this day, whatever it is that you need. Because if not, you're always going to be your own victim. And that's how we're supposed to be connected to time, trusting ourselves so that you can be in your own timeline, so that you can be in your right timeline, so that you can be connected to that inner self that is making you very powerful every single day. And power does not mean that everyone needs to know anything about you. It just means that you need to know yourself so that you can just express it. And then people will get to see that. People will get to feel it. And then they'll decide what they do with it. Don't decide for them. Don't plan for them. Don't have an expectation for them. Let them be. Let them process it themselves. So this December, don't be defensive. Connect to the tool of orientation. Connect to the tool of time by not chasing yourself, but being yourself. That's where the power will be. And I'm just very excited for that because that just means everyone gets to be themselves. There's space for everyone. There's space for anything. This is a world that is so unlimited. It's limitless. It's filled with everything we need, everything we want. We can co-create even more. We can. But it's about stepping in your timeline, stepping in your path to see that higher self and stop chasing it. But notice that it's right there next to you. It's right there. And as you start walking, you feel it go far away, you go into that vulnerable state again and you say, okay, what do I have to let go of now? What do I have to release? What am I not doing that I love? Maybe I need to try something new. Maybe there's another part of me that I need to get to know. So you start working towards that and you stop being your own victim. And I'm so excited. Just December, it's an exciting month, honestly. There's so much to come. There's so much opportunity. And remember, opportunity sometimes brings in a bit of sad days. Because sadness, the tool of sadness, is an opportunity to release. It's an opportunity to notice what shouldn't be there. It's an opportunity to even grieve your old self. Sadness is not there to be mad at. It's there to be a tool, a beautiful tool. Another tool would be maybe being uncomfortable. That's a beautiful tool as well. It awakens us. It tells us, hey, come on, we gotta move. We're not in our timeline. We gotta work on this. Then the tool of self-doubt is that moment where you have to say, wait, where am I lacking self-trust then? So all these tools are there to ask for your attention, not necessarily to avoid them or say, no, that's not me. Of course it's not you. Don't identify with it. It's just a tool. So embrace them. Don't embody them. Embrace them. Activate them for a little bit, then let them go whenever they have to go. Okay? Enjoy your month, everyone. I'll be back next week. I'm sending so much love and light to everyone. I can't wait. Enjoy, enjoy. Bye.